Hello and welcome to the Important Site series by Shikara Academy. In this Important Site series, we are discussing all the environmentally important sites, all the environment important sites that state by state we are taking all these important environmental sites. In this session, we will be discussing about the important sites, the important environmental sites that are in the state of Rajasthan. Okay. In the previous session, we have discussed about the important sites in the state of Gujarat. And today's session, we will be discussing about the important sites, the environmentally important sites in the state of Rajasthan. Now, when we talk about the environment important sites or the mapping through environment through mapping, we have to cover the tiger reserves, the elephant reserves, the biosphere reserves, if any in the state, the Ramsar wetland sites, the World Heritage sites, the Natural World Heritage sites, biodiversity heritage sites under the Biological Diversity Act of 2002, the marine protected areas, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, conservation reserves, and the community reserves all declared under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So it's not like all of the states in India will have all of these sites. Some states might have some sites, predominant sites, some others might have some others. Talking about Rajasthan, so we know that in Rajasthan there is no biosphere reserve. Okay, we do not have marine protected areas in Rajasthan. So, starting with the Natural World Heritage Site, in Rajasthan, we have a very important Natural World Heritage Site that is the Kevladev Ghana National Park, located in the Bharatpur district, and it lies at the confluence of the Gambhir and the Banganga rivers. Okay. The geographical features include it lies in the low-lying floodplain wetland ecosystem, so it is also a Ramsar wetland site. This Kevladev Ghana National Park is a national park. It is a Natural World Heritage Site and it is also a Ramsar wetland site. It is a network of the artificial shallow lakes, marshes, and grasslands. Originally, it was a natural depression, later developed as a duck hunting reserve during the princely rule. The type of vegetation that it has is the mosaic of aquatic vegetation, the scrubs, and the grasslands. The predominant trees in vegetation include the neem and the Prosopis juliflora. It is rich in aquatic flora like the water hyacinth, that is an invasive species, water lilies, and sedges. Then talking about the important wildlife that is in this Keolado Ghana National Park, Ghana National Park, the birds. It is an important bird site. That is, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and Ramsar site famous for the migratory and the resident birds. Siberian cranes, Sarus cranes, painted stork, white ibis, black-necked stork, and various ducks and these water birds are found in this Keolado Ghana National Park and in its lake ecosystem. Okay, the mammals includes the nilgai, the wild boar, golden jackal, and the fishing cat. The reptiles include Indian python, water monitor lizard, and turtles. The significance of this site is that it is one of the world's most important bird breeding and the wintering grounds. And that is why it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is a key stopover for migratory birds in the Central Asian flyway. It was recognized for wetland biodiversity conservation and it supports the livelihoods of the nearby rural communities through ecotourism. And it is an important site for ecotourism. Next, we have the different national parks that are in the state of Rajasthan, starting with the Desert National Park. It is situated in the Jaisalmer and the Bardmer districts of Rajasthan and lies close to the Indo-Pakistani border. It is part of the Thar Desert. So geographical features include that it is a part of the Thar Desert. The terrain includes the sand dunes, the rocky outcrops, salt lakes, and the interdunal areas. There are certain major streams, seasonal streams, that is Kakni and Luni, the Luni River. It includes some of the fossil sites with remains dating back to 180 million years ago. That is beyond, it is even beyond the Crustacean period. The type of vegetation that it has, the tropical thorn forest, because it is a desert, So we have thorny vegetation. The dominant species includes the khejri, the acacia or that we call cactus, and scattered grass species. The important wildlife here includes birds, including the critically endangered great Indian bustard, which is also the state bird of Rajasthan, the Hobara bustard, the Eurasian griffon vulture, the Egyptian vulture, and the leger falcon. The mammals include the desert fox, the chinkara, Indian wolf, and the caracal. The reptiles include the spiny-tailed lizard, the monitor lizard, and saw-scaled vipers, and all these wildlife, they are desert wildlife. Okay, they live in the drier regions. These wildlife. It is one of the last strongholds of the Great Indian Bustard. Great Indian Bustard is a critically endangered bird, and this desert national park is an important protected area for the protection of this Great Indian Bustard. It is unique arid ecosystem supporting desert adapted flora and fauna, and fossil evidence of the dinosaurs as well as the prehistoric plants have also been found in this region. The cultural significance includes with the local communities like the Bishnois. So Bishnoi community lives there, and the Megwals, they are engaged in the traditional desert livelihood. So the important communities, the communities living in the protected areas are also important for examination point of view. So in the Desert National Park, the two important communities are the Bishnois as well as the Megwals. Next we have is the Mukundra Hills National Park, which is also a tiger reserve. It's spread across the Kota, Bundi, Chittorgarh, and the Jhalawar districts of Rajasthan. It lies along the eastern flank of the Aravali Hills. Okay, so it is located on the eastern part of the state of Rajasthan. Geographical features include the narrow valley formed between the two parallel hill ranges of the Mukundra Hills. Okay, so an important geographical feature is the presence of the Mukundra Hills. It is bounded by the Chambal River to the east and Kali Sindh River to the west. Now, the two important rivers that are associated with the Mukandra Hills National Park is the Chambal River in the east and Kali Sindh River to the west. It includes part of the Dara Wildlife Sanctuary, the Jawahar Sagar Sanctuary, and the Chambal Wildlife Sanctuary. So, it includes three wildlife sanctuaries, the Dara, the Jawahar, and the Chambal. The terrain includes the hills, the gorges, and the plateaus. The type of vegetation that it has, the tropical dry deciduous forest, the dominance and the presence of grasslands in the riverine belts, because it, two important rivers are flowing through the national park. That is the Chambal River and the Kali Sindh River. The important wildlife here includes the tiger, which was reintroduced here, the leopard, the sloth bear, sambar, chinkara, nilgai, and the wild boar. The important birds includes the peafowl, the grey francolin, and the various raptors. Reptiles includes the mugger crocodile, which is found in the rivers, the monitor lizard, and the Indian cobra. It was declared a tiger reserve in the year 2013. That is the Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve. It acts as the wildlife corridor between the Ranthambore and the other forested area. So it lies adjacent to the Ranthambore National Park, the Ranthambore Tiger Reserve. It is important for the Chambal riverine diversity and historical association with the royal hunting grounds during the princely rule. The next national park that we have is the Ranthambore National Park, and that is also declared as the Ranthambore Tiger Reserve. It is situated in the Savai Madhopur district of Rajasthan and lies at the junction of the Aravali and the Vindhya hill ranges. Okay, and it has a rocky terrain. The Banas River flows through the north and Chambal rivers from the park's southern eastern boundary. So the two important rivers here are the Banas River as well as the Chambal River. Several lakes are within the park, that is the Padam Talao, the Malik Talao, and the Rajbagh Talao. It contains the historic Ranthambore Fort, which is the UNESCO World Heritage Site under the hill forts of Rajasthan. The famous Ranthambore Fort is located in this Ranthambore National Park. The type of vegetation here includes the tropical dry deciduous forest, as was in the Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve. The dominant species include the dhok tree and the acacia, and it has grasslands around the lakes and the open valleys. So, this Ranthambore, the mammals that are found here is the Bengal tiger, which is famous for the diurnal sightings, or that is these tigers in this national park or in this tiger reserve are found during both the daytime as well as the nighttime. You can spot the tigers during both day and night. And the leopards, sloth bear, the striped hyena, jackals, chital, nilgai, and the chinkara. The birds includes the crested serpent eagle. The reptiles include the marsh crocodile, the Indian python, and the monitor lizard. So marsh crocodile is the mugger crocodile. It is one of the most renowned tiger reserves in India under Project Tiger since 1973. It is famous for tiger conservation and ecotourism, and it supports local communities through tourism-related livelihoods. And it lies adjacent to the Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve. Okay, both of them make a continuous corridor for the tiger population to move between the regions. The next tiger reserve or the next national park that we have is the Sariska National Park, which is the third tiger reserve in the state of Rajasthan. So this is the Sariska Tiger Reserve. It is situated in the Alwar district of Rajasthan. It is part of the Aravali Hill Range. The geographical features here includes the rugged terrain with hills, plateaus, valleys, and seasonal streams. The key water bodies here include the Silicate Lake, which is with the small perennial springs. The Kankarwadi Fort is located within the park, within the national park. The Kankarwadi Fort, the tropical dry deciduous forest is there, and the dominant species includes the dhope tree and the acacia. So the vegetation in the Sariska National Park, the Ranthambore National Park, as well as the Mukundra Hills National Park is somewhat similar. That is the tropical dry deciduous, and the species are also very much similar. And it has riverine vegetation along the seasonal streams. The important wildlife here includes the Bengal tiger, which was reintroduced after the local extinction in 2004, the leopard, striped hyena, caracal, jungle cat, sambar, chital, nilgai, and the chausinga. The bird includes the Indian peafowl, the grey francolin, the crested serpent eagle, and the white-throated kingfisher. The reptiles here includes the monitor lizard, the rat snake, and the python. It was declared a tiger reserve in the year 1978 under Project Tiger. It was notable for the successful tiger reintroduction program starting in 2008. So in 2004, the tigers in this Sariska National Park, they went extinct. In the local level, extinction was there for the tigers. But 4 years later, in 2008, the reintroduction of tiger in this habitat was taken place. It has important cultural sites inside the park, such as Pandupol Hanuman Temple, and the medieval forts. It supports biodiversity conservation in the semi-arid Aravali ecosystem. Next, we have the tiger reserves, the fourth tiger reserve, that is the Ramgarh Vishdhari Tiger Reserve. It is situated in the Bundi district of Rajasthan, and it lies between the Ranthambore Tiger Reserve and the Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve, and it forms an overall wildlife corridor. So these three tiger reserves, that is the Ranthambore Tiger Reserve, the Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve, as well as the Ramgarh Vishdhari Tiger Reserve, all of them three, they make a corridor for the easy movement of the tiger population from to the one part of the forest to the other part. The geographical features include it is part of the Aravali Hill system. The key rivers includes the Maj River and the Ramgarh River, which are the tributaries of the Chambal River. The terrain includes the forested hills, open scrubland, and the cultivated patches. The type of vegetation that is present in this Ramgarh Vishdhari Tiger Reserve is the tropical dry deciduous forest as continuous type of vegetation along with the Ramgarh and the Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve. The dominant species include, as usual, the dhok species and the acacia species, and it has sparse riverine vegetation along the streams. So, all the four tiger reserves that we have discussed till now, all of them have the same tropical dry deciduous forest, and the dominant species include the dhok, along with the some riverine vegetation. The important wildlife here includes the tigers, the leopards, sloth bear, striped hyena, golden jackal, sambar, chital, nilgai, and the wild boar. The birds includes the Indian peafowl, the grey partridge, and various raptors and the migratory birds. Okay. The significance, it was declared the 52nd tiger reserve in India in 2022. So it was declared quite recently, this Ramgarh Vishtari National Tiger Reserve. It functions as a crucial corridor for the tiger movement between the Ranthambore and the Mukundra Hills, aiding in the genetic diversity. Okay. So it forms all these Three tiger reserves, they form an important crucial corridor, which is important for the mixing up of the populations of the tigers in this region. It supports the conservation of the semi-arid zone in the semi-arid zone biodiversity in Rajasthan, and it has potential for ecotourism and livelihood opportunities for the nearby communities. But as compared to the Ranthambore National Park or the Ranthambore Tiger Reserve, the potential has not been achieved till now. The potential for ecotourism. Finally, we have the fifth and the last tiger reserve in the state of Rajasthan, that is the Dholpur Karali Tiger Reserve. It is spread across the Dholpur and the Karoli districts of eastern Rajasthan, and it was declared India's 54th Tiger Reserve and Rajasthan's fifth in 2023. So it is the latest declared Tiger Reserve. It lies in the proximity with the Ranthambore Tiger Reserve, aiding in the landscape connectivity. So all these four Tiger Reserve, that is the Dholpur Karoli and the Ramgarh Vishdhari, the Ranthambore Tiger Reserve and the Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve, all these four form a continuous corridor for the tiger movement. It has semi-arid terrain with low hills, plateaus, and riverine tracts. The key rivers here include the Chambal River, the Mej River, and the Parbati River, and it encompasses parts of the National Chambal Sanctuary, the Dholpur Wildlife Sanctuary, and the Kaila Devi Wildlife Sanctuary. The type of vegetation, as expected, is the tropical dry deciduous forest, and the dominant species includes the dhop, the khair, the palash, and with the riverine belts. The important wildlife here includes the Bengal tiger, the leopard, sloth bear, striped hyena, golden jackal, and the Indian wolf. And the herbivore population includes the sambar, chital, nilgai, chinkara, and the wild boar. Other some species include, because the Chambal River is flowing through the area, that means mugger crocodile will be there, monitor lizards are there, Indian python, and various other species. The significance is that it strengthens the tiger population connectivity between the Ranthambore and the adjoining habitats, that is the Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve and the Dholpur Karoli Tiger Reserve. It comprises of the core and buffer zone, and it has potential for the ecotourism, but the potential has not been achieved yet as compared to the Ranthambore Tiger Reserve. It includes the culturally significant sites and supports the riverine biodiversity along the Chambal River. Then we have certain important Ramsar sites. One Ramsar site we have already discussed, that is Kevla Dev Ghana National Park. Okay. Second Ramsar site is the Sambar Lake Ramsar Wetland Site. It is situated mainly in the Sambar district with parts in Jaipur and the Nagaur districts of Rajasthan. It is the largest inland saline lake in India. A very important point that has to keep in mind. It is the largest inland saline lake in India. Inland means that is inside the landmass territory, not on the coastal region. Okay. It is elliptical saline lake. The shape is elliptical and it is a saline lake, largest inland saline lake. It is fed by seasonal rivers, that is Mendha River, the Runpungad River, and the Kherian and the Khandel rivers. Okay. There has it has no outlet. That is, water loss is mainly through evaporation. Okay. Water does not flow out of this Sambar lake. All the water that it loses is due to the evaporation, and it is surrounded by the arid and semi-arid landscape. The type of vegetation here includes the sparse arid zone vegetation and the saline tolerant halophytes. The important wildlife here includes the bird species mainly. It is a major wintering habitat for the migratory birds, like the greater flamingos, the lesser flamingos, the common teal, the black-winged stilt, and the pied avocet. The other birds includes the brine shrimp, which is the food source of the flamingos. Other species of wildlife includes the brine shrimp and small fish species in the less saline zones. It was declared a Ramsar site in the year 1990 for its international importance as a wetland. It is a crucial stopover for the migratory birds along the Central Asian flyway. So all the Ramsar sites that we have discussed yesterday in the state of Gujarat and today till now in the state of Rajasthan, all of them are important stopover sites along the Central Asian flyway. It is a major center for the salt production in India. Okay, because it is saline, so it is a major center for salt production apart from the coastal zones. It holds cultural importance with the temples and historical references dating back to the ancient periods. The next Ramsar site that we have is the Menar Wetland Complex. It is situated in the Menar village in the Udaipur district. It comprises of two main lakes, that is Brahma Sagar and the Dand Talab. The geographical features include the artificial freshwater lakes created by the rainwater harvesting and created for rainwater harvesting and the irrigation. It is surrounded by the agricultural fields and semi-arid terrain, and it receives water mainly from monsoon rains and the local catchment runoff. So no major rivers are supplying water to this Menar wetland complex. Okay. The aquatic vegetation includes the water lilies, the water hyacinth, which is the invasive species, and the submerged macrophytes. The marginal vegetation includes the reeds and the cattails. The important wildlife includes the birds. It is also known for the bird village of Rajasthan. So this Menar village is known as the bird village of Rajasthan because it attracts the large number of migratory and the resident birds. It was recognized as a Ramsar site in the year 2022, quite recently, for its importance to the water bird conservation. It is important wintering ground along the Central Asian flyway, and local community actively involved in conservation through the traditional protection of birds, and the ecotourism destination promoting bird watching and the village-based tourism. So it is important for rural tourism as well as ecotourism. The last site that we have is the Ramsar site of Khinchan Kitchen wetland. Okay, it is situated in the Kitchen village in the Jodhpur district of Rajasthan and lies in this arid zone of the western Rajasthan near the Thar desert. So it lies in the Thar near the Thar deserts in the Jodhpur district. It comprises of a series of man-made ponds and the feeding areas. So it is not a natural wetland, it is man-made and receives water mainly from the monsoon rainfall and the village water storage systems. And it is surrounded by the arid scrubland and sandy plains. So no major rivers flows into this kitchen wetland. It has sparse desert vegetation. The species includes the khejari and the aquatic vegetation in ponds such as the lemna. The important wildlife here includes the birds, the famous wintering site for the Kurjan arriving from the Central Asia and Mongolia. Also, it hosts certain other migratory birds and other local amphibians, small reptiles, and invertebrates. It is internationally known for the community-led crane conservation, where villagers protect and feed thousands of the demoiselle cranes each winter. It is important cultural value with birds considered symbols for the good fortune by locals, and it is an ecotourism hub attracting the bird watchers. So all these Ramsar wetland sites, okay, so please note that these Ramsar wetland sites, majority of them, they are important bird areas, and they are important bird areas, so they are a paradise for the bird watchers, and therefore they attract the ecotourists. Okay, the tourists who want to watch the birds in their natural habitat. So all these Ramsar wetland sites are also an important area for the ecotourism. Okay, so that was all the important sites in the state of Rajasthan. We have discussed about the natural world heritage site. We have discussed about the national parks, the tiger reserves, and the important Ramsar wetland sites. Thank you.